Welcome to the Diary of a Pan-African Preacher. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. So says an African proverb. The scriptures warn us that when the watchmen on the walls fall asleep, when they refuse to sound the alarm, the people suffer the consequences of dangers they should have seen coming. The blood of the city is placed upon the heads of those who failed to warn it. Jeremiah and Ezekiel understood this well. Their prophecies revealed how Judah's political fragility and military dependence left it vulnerable to being squeezed between the might of the Babylonian and Egyptian empires. History records this era in the language of sieges and exiles, the vocabulary of oppressed peoples trapped between imperial ambitions. Judah, like many small nations today, was a client state buffeted by the geopolitical tides of greater powers. Two features define these ancient imperial maneuvers: sieges, the slow strangulation of a nation, and exiles, the human overflow of suffering that follows. A siege in the Old Testament was not always an act of sudden destruction. It was an extended form of suffocation, the blocking of supplies, the starving of populations, and the pressuring of leaders into submission. Today, we refer to such warfare as an embargo. Then there is exiles. Then, as now, exiles refer to the forced displacement of people from the land that shapes their identity, spirituality, and livelihood. It is the tearing away of a people's soul from its soil. So the question arises, where are our prophets in the Caribbean? Where are the watchmen who can discern that the economic stranglehold placed on Venezuela through a de facto embargo by the United States carries the seeds of another wave of displacement, another flood of exiles seeking survival among Caribbean shores? Too many of our religious voices have become spiritually nearsighted, reading the biblical text only as ancient allegory, never as a mirror. This spiritualization that refuses to connect Scripture with the lived realities of our people render the church silent at precisely the moment it must speak. It is yet another reason we need to cultivate a Caribbean theology of liberation, a prophetic lens rooted in our history, our struggles, and the African diaspora's collective memory of empire, migration, and resilience. Our prophets, pastors, priests, and theologians ought to see that when imports collapse, when oil production falls, inflation rises, the livelihoods crumble, migration becomes inevitable. Analysts estimate that an additional 2 to 3 million Venezuelans may soon seek to leave their homeland. Yet, short-sighted leadership, political and religious, continue to posture carelessly in foreign policy pronouncements and Sunday sermons. Trinidad and Tobago stands exposed, positioned precariously in a volatile regional landscape, while its watchmen slumber in their towers. The ancient warning echoes: where there is no vision, the people perish. A nation without prophetic foresight is a nation stumbling towards avoidable danger. Ashe.